Busy Sunday, there was a chance for some movement in the Western Conference standings. The Warriors starting to create some distance at the top, riding a 10-game winning streak. The Clippers were in first place on December 4th, and now they're holding on to that final spot out west. They took on a Kings team on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. Those two teams going head-to-head. Doc Rivers with some OJ and his team all juiced up. Tobias Harris working out. Should be getting some all-star looks this year. Big Tobias, fine marching Gortat.
And he's been solid all year for them. He's a guy that we really don't talk about a whole lot, but he could easily be an all-star this year.
Their energy guy, Montrezl Harrell, was incredible, GA.
He might be the most improved player in the league. I mean, he is, what a find for the Clippers in terms of what he has brought to the table. Great energy and consistency all season long.
Double-digit assists for Lou Will off the bench, 10 of them. The Clippers actually assisted on 21 of their first 25 baskets. In the third quarter, back come the Kings. That's De'Aaron Fox. Shows the outside touch, then works it inside.
Yeah, I love this young backcourt with him and Buddy Hield. I think in a couple years, man, they can be competing for one of the top spots in the backcourt because they play well together and their games fit each other.
And then the third guy, Bogdanovich, is terrific as well.
So we had a 5-point game. And in Patrick Beverley, known for his defense, providing some offense, Montrezl Harrell cleaning up the mess. 25 points off the bench for Harrell. He also added 7 rebounds, missed just 2 shots. Here's Patrick Beverley with Christina Pink following the victory.
Pat.
So many positives for the Clippers in that one, but let's focus on the assists. 35 team assists. Lou Will, known as a guy that'll get you a bucket, but he had 10 of those. Really, they were effective as a total unit, being able to make sure everyone gets a touch.
You know, they put a tremendous amount of pressure on you with their ability to execute offensively. You know, they get the rim runs. They can space it with the three-point shooting. They're collectively a good passing basketball team with terrific spacing. And so when you've got that combination and the confidence with which they're playing right now, you know, they're having success. You know, they had a little bit of a struggle there. Obviously, Gallinari's out right now, but they seem to have righted the ship here, having won 3 in a row.
And you say a struggle when we look at the Kings and the Clippers a month and a half ago. It's like, wow, look at these two teams surprising everyone towards the top of the Western Conference standings, and you see where they are now. Not that they're bad, because both teams are still exceeding expectations, but the trading deadline is coming up. If you're the Kings, if you're the Clippers, do you buy or do you sell? What do you say, Rip?
Well, for the Kings, I think you stay put. I mean, you got a great young nucleus here. Like we talked about, I feel like they got in a couple of years, we'll be talking about Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox as one of the best backcourts in the game. And I think they complement each other. You got one guy that dominates the ball in Fox, and then you got Buddy Hield just coming off pin downs and screens and things like that. And you got a young Bagley out there still trying to find his way around the league. So if I'm the Kings, I'm staying put. Maybe add a couple veterans for the locker room, you know, so they can understand how to win and win big games. I mean, we've seen it early in the season. Some games they have big leads and they'll give them up and end up losing the game. So I think if you're the Sacramento Kings, you got to stay put with this young team.
And the thing about it is they're not in a scenario where they've got championship aspirations. So in essence, to Rip's point, they're playing with the house's money.
Yeah.
So, like, if this is a team that somehow finds themselves in the postseason, that's a confidence boost that you give this young crew, because ultimately that's the ultimate validation as a player, team-wise, is confidence. If you make the postseason with that young core, like, then they go to another level. And so I want to just see progress if I'm Sacramento. I'm not necessarily looking to change anything in terms of what we're doing, because we're a competitive team with our young core nucleus. I don't want to disrupt that right now. And they seem to be all guys that get it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no issues in their locker room. They don't have any malcontents. They got guys that come to work every day with their hard hat that want to get better. So Sacramento, in essence, they're in the perfect situation. They're ahead of expectations right now. They got a great young core nucleus that they just want to continue to develop, because at some point, Golden State's not going to be Golden State. Now, that may not happen for a couple years, but eventually there's going to have to be a new kid on the block. We see it in the Eastern Conference right now, and you see how many of those teams are taking another step. I think Sacramento is kind of indicative of that, and they are heading in the right direction.
Taking a step back, you mentioned the Clippers and the depth that they have because Danilo Gallinari not playing right now, Montrezl Harrell able to give you 25 off the bench. When you look at the fact that the Clippers can rely on bench guys like Montrezl and like Lou Will, does that make them, you look at them as a team that could make the playoffs out west?
Absolutely. You know, I thought they'd have a chance, but they've exceeded my expectations as well. I mean, in part because of how good Harrell has played for them. Obviously, Lou Williams is a six-man-of-the-year candidate every year. But then you look at how good Tobias and Gallinari have played. The fact now Beverly and Bradley are healthy. Maybe if they can, because remember, they really haven't been very good, that backcourt. So now if you start getting consistency out of those two, this becomes a much scarier team. I think everybody, when you look at that Western Conference, there's Golden State and there's everybody else. And so if you're the Clippers, you're like, we can beat anybody 4 times in a 7-game series.
And they've been doing it by committee. I mean, we're so used to the Los Angeles Clippers, you know, doing it just going through 2 guys, Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. So Doc Rivers had to change his offensive schemes. And now you got a lot of guys that played on multiple teams and now actually found a home. And they love playing with each other. And when it showed last year because they came out and played hard every game. They didn't have the talent, but they played hard each and every night. And now they're starting to figure it out. Tobias Harris is coming into his own. Lou Williams has been doing what he's been doing his whole career. But now he's not just a scorer, he's a playmaker. He went out and had 10 assists today, and then you got Harold just came in and just puts his energy, his athletic ability, imprint on the game, and he's been great for them also.
So the Clippers and the Kings, 2 teams out west still fighting for playoff position. Out east, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Chicago Bulls, not so much.
They're not fighting. They're fighting, but not for playoffs.
But you know what? No tanking here. No tanking here. No rip. We got a close game in the fourth quarter.
No, they still
marketing.
They fighting for Zion.
They fighting for that number 1 pick.
As Matt Cain said, they fighting for Zion position.
Don't tell the players that.
They know it.
Jetty Osman trying to make sure the Cavs get their win and get off the snide. Cleveland had lost 6 straight. Chicago, 7 consecutive home losses. 2-point game in the fourth. How about that? Big shot from Alec Burks.
And that's sad too, GP, because they got a lot of young guys on the Chicago Bulls team that know how to play. Just hopefully they can get it together, get some vets. And I don't know if they're going to get a new coach, but they got to figure this out.
Yeah, and really both these teams in a lot of ways are what they want to be what Sacramento is. They just haven't been able to get to that point, and it's frustrating from the top of that organization on down.
So Zach LaVine with a look to try to send it to overtime. He misses, finishes the game with 17 points and 12 rebounds. So the Chicago Bulls lose their 8th consecutive home game, while the Cleveland Cavaliers, they break a 6-game losing streak and get the victory 104-101. Coming up, we'll hear from one half of the Splash Brothers. Klay Thompson tells us why his percentages are on the rise. That's next. You're watching Game Time Live.
Kenny Smith throws it across. Miller for 3. Oh, he backed it in! He backed it in!
Hey everybody, Matt here with 3 of the most accomplished shooters in NBA history. 3D, Dennis Scott, Kenny Smith, the Hall of Famer Reggie Miller, and so of course...
This is a shooting show.
No, of course.
I was trying to figure out
I want to talk about shooting. One active player to take a game-winning shot, if you could choose, who is that guy?
Steph Curry. Or Kevin Durant, or LeBron James.
Curry saves it 3. Steph good! Goes to the corner to shoot a 3 and hits to tie it up. Shot clock is on. James pull up for a 3. Rainbow!
Any more?
To take a 3 to win a game.
I take all 3 of those. Even LeBron James, in terms of his ability to get it off, he'll get it off comfortably because of his size, strength, and ball handling ability. So he would get it off comfortably. He doesn't shoot with the same accuracy as those other 2 guys, but he gets a better comfort level at times than those 2 guys.
For me, active, if we're just trying to get a shot clock's going down, it's Kyrie Irving. his ball handling ability to be able to get to any spot on the floor and get his shot off. To your point, he's going to get his shot off. And he's one of the few point guards, well, there's a lot of point guards in the league, and can shoot the three.
Definitely guys that I probably would have picked, but if I'm going with someone with ice water in their veins, need a shot, I'm going with Dame Lillard. A guy that can create his own shot, or you can put him in a high pick and roll, shoots with depth, can shoot deep, and if you foul him, he's going to make foul shots.
Does the answer change for any of you if I say it's a catch and shoot three to win a game?
Klay Thompson.
Yeah. Catch and shoot, I would add Klay to a catch and shoot. Like, it swung back out to him. I would add Klay to that for sure.
You know, it's funny, we were talking, James Harden.
Ooh, yes, to get a bucket, yes.
He could do.
Oh, my goodness, to get a bucket,
I mean, we're not
catch the dribble, off the dribble.
Off the dribble, he's
off the
great,
dribble, no question about it.
He gets to walk and shoot it, so he gets it. He gets to do the running, man.
I'll make it harder. Let's go back in history. Any player who's ever played to win a game with a three.
Oh, we're sitting right here.
Oh,
Who are you picking?
No, there's a lot of guys.
No, I'm not. You could go last if you're not going to talk about yourself.
I'm gonna go with Larry Legend.
No.
To make a three. He said to make a three, right?
To make a three.
To make a three at the end of the game.
Celtics have got 3 seconds. 2. Bird, a runner. It's good.
I'm going with Larry Legend.
I'm going with the guy sitting here only because the moment for Larry is always the moment. For Reggie, he creates more moments, meaning he's looking for an opportunity. I think at times you hope we get down 3. You know, so there's a difference. But Larry's like, no, I'm not even going to let you get up. I'm going to beat you. He's waiting for that moment. And so for me, watching Reggie over the years, I would have to say Reggie would be the guy I would be. Like,
good looking, Kenny.
No,
Yeah.
but and take it a step further, with Larry, as much as we, love his shooting, he's not going to get open in that situation. Where you, and I'm going to throw Ray Allen into the mix, both of you guys are going to get open because you're probably the best running without the basketball, running off screens and getting open.
Now,
Now,
I'm going to put Larry second, though. I wasn't like,
Kenny, Larry's third. Ray Allen's above him. Well, come on now. Ray Allen and Reggie Miller, we need a three. Larry's not getting open. Him and Ray are getting open to get that three off.
Rebound, Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
There's a guy that I would want to be in this mix because he's the leading three-point shooter in the history of playoffs over certain attempts. You know who that guy is, right?
Kenny the Jets man.
You know.
I was waiting for that.
You look at
That leads to my next question. You may have already answered it, but if in a theoretical world where I could play and I had to choose one of the three of you to win a game with a three, where am I going?
We're all going to pick ourselves. That's how confident we. I mean, in all of our careers, we've all hit game winners, we've all hit buzzer beaters, so we know we can do it. So if you're asking openly, I want to. As much as I love both these guys, I want to take that shot first.
I would honestly say that these guys were better three-point shooters in this regard. That was such a big part of their diet. And for me, it became a part of my diet later on. But I had to learn to be that. It is, like Reggie Miller, we played at UCLA in Pauley Pavilion and in North Carolina. We were like, guard him from here.
Right.
That didn't come into my life until about my 4th year in the NBA. It was always part of Dennis Scott's repertoire, a steady part of that diet, the long ball shot. I was catching up with you all the time.
Right.
Now, I just still think I could shoot the ball. But I just know that you guys it was a better diet.
We all have different strengths at different times. But at the end of a game, to a man, we're all going to say, put the ball in my hands. Kenny wants those shots.
Yeah, one of the
Kenny
biggest
wants those shots.
One of the
He
biggest
always wanted
moments.
those shots.
Yeah.
We were actually in the biggest moments in Rocket and Orlando basketball history. Hit a three-pointer to tie the game to send it to overtime in the NBA Finals.
He's been on fire and hits. He's tied the game.
But before that, this dude,
In the regulation,
he comes
right.
back and hits another one.
Back to Scott. Three, and he's tied
Back to back.
Yep.
It was him and I.
You haven't made my job any easier.
Well, hey, how about this? who are you going to pick?
Oh,
If your life depended on it and your family's life depended on it, and they needed a 3 to get them out. Come on, Matt.
I will answer the question. I've got bad news for you and my family. I turned it over before I ever got to
I will tell you this. If you,
I'm sitting here and not there.
if you gave it to any of us, your family lives.
That was great. Now, we
man,
know in
great
the clutch,
answer.
you two aren't turning the ball over. We've heard from you in
not
this
turning.
segment.
Yes.
So, Karan, forget the three-point shot. Of all the guys you play with, give us 2 that you would go 1 and 2. You would want them to take the last shot at the end of the game, outside of yourself, of course.
All right, so clearly I've played with some of the greatest players ever to play this game of basketball, future Hall of Famers, might I add. So I would have to, one that jumps off the screen at me immediately is, the second best 2-guard ever to play the game of basketball, Kobe Bryant.
Ooh, I'm not mad at that one.
Find a way
to
get him the ball, and he will orchestrate. He will operate in a phone booth. For those who don't know what that is, that's the thing that Superman went to change in. Google it. That's what Kobe would do. He'd dissect you in that space. Another one, Agent Zero.
Yes, hold on. That was a good
Listen.
Hibachi.
Now listen,
I want you to hear the second one.
Hibachi.
All right.
It's the hibachi. I'm not mad at that
Gilbert
either.
Arenas
Yes.
will score that ball. I'm talking about let that thing fly, turn around in the process, game, go that way.
Yes.
Special.
Okay, so in today's game, you need a 3-point shot. Who are you going with?
Today's game,
Today.
if I
Right
need
now.
a 3-point shot right now.
End of the game.
So at the end of the game, it's probably, how much time I got on the clock? That's
3 seconds.
3 seconds. 3 seconds.
3, 2,
Take it out of half
1.
court.
And 3, 2, 1. And
I'm going to go with Steph Curry.
Hey, he's done that enough.
It's interesting because the
I'm not
past
mad.
2 years in the finals, Steph Curry and company went with Kevin Durant.
Hey, they were smart. They
Very
were smart.
You got a point.
That's why the
smart.
Warriors are who they are, right? When you
Yeah.
have that many options.
Well, my point is, as much as we showed the Klay Thompson thing early, and a lot of us had him as well, but when you know what your skill set is and you get to the right system and you're able to move without the basketball, that's why Klay Thompson's name will always be in someone's conversation, because he moves well, he gets to his spot, and that thing is picture perfect every time.
How much time we got on this segment?
Yeah, go ahead. Who you got? 31
31
seconds.
seconds. Can we draw up the play real quick?
Yeah, Jordan, what you got?
All right, you take it out real quick on the
take it
side.
out. Take
Get
it
ready
out.
for your moment.
Where am I going?
I'm defense.
All right,
Oh,
ready?
okay.
Ready, Chris?
All right.
You double team
Oh,
him.
I see.
I'm about to skip it over to you. I'm about to skip it over to you, Chris. What you going
pass.
I'm
Make
closing
some
out.
good
Closing out. Oh,
baby. Leave it. You can trust me in the clutch, people.
Oh, the red light came on. Oh, my goodness.
Stay ready. Stay ready.
I get double teamed. That's the first pass. That's
I'm
my
open.
first assist.
Put me
He
in,
lines
coach.
it up. He leads in one hand.
Leave it.
Oh, I love it. Way to make me look good.
I'm just
Way to
glad the
stay
team
ready.
Oh,
You were ready.
job.
Here we go, fellas.
So if you need a host to take a shot for you, it's Chris Miles. We'll be right back.